Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. This is the story of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny, minted in the quietly remarkable year of 1981. Let's go back in time, to a world perched on the edge of transformation. It was the early 1980s, an era of shifting economies, political tension, and rapid modernization. In Britain, Margaret Thatcher had just begun her storied tenure as Prime Minister, the Falklands War was on the horizon, and across the globe, the Cold War loomed like a storm cloud. But in the Royal Mint, nestled in the serene hills of Llantrisant, Wales, another quieter but no less significant transition was underway. The coinage of Britain had been undergoing a revolutionary change since decimalisation in 1971. Gone were the old shillings, florins, and farthings. In their place came a system that was simpler, more modern, and in many ways more democratic. Yet, within this evolution, the penny, an icon with over 1,000 years of heritage, remained a cornerstone of everyday currency. But the 1981 edition was no ordinary issue. It would become a numismatic enigma, a collector's dream, and eventually, one of the most sought-after coins in the world. At first glance, the 1981 one-penny coin might appear identical to its counterparts from other years. It features the familiar right-facing portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by the talented Arnold Machin. This was the second definitive portrait of the Queen used on British coins, introduced in 1968. In this depiction, Her Majesty wears the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, an elegant and regal choice that gave a sense of timeless dignity to the coin's appearance. The portrait is framed by the legend, Elizabeth II D.G.Reg.F.D. 1981 inch, an abbreviation of the Latin phrase De Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor, meaning, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. On the reverse of the coin lies a design as rooted in British heritage as the monarchy itself, the crown portcullis. Originally a symbol of Westminster, this heavy lattice gate with vertical bars and chains was chosen by the Royal Mint as the official emblem for the decimal penny. It was first introduced in 1971, and its simple but majestic form has remained a staple ever since. The inscription, 1 penny, arches over the design, while the value, 1, anchors the bottom. Minted from bronze, the coin consists of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin. It weighs 3.56 grams and has a diameter of 20.3 millimeters. The edges are plain, unassuming perhaps, but honest and durable, just like the working-class Britain it was meant to serve. In 1981, tens of millions of these coins were produced, a routine issue during a time of economic challenges and shifting public policies. So, what exactly sets this coin apart? Why would such a widely minted coin become one of the rarest and most valuable in the world? As is so often the case with numismatic treasures, the devil is in the details. Among the sea of ordinary 1981 pennies, there exists a microscopic handful with anomalies, striking errors, experimental strikes, and mysterious variants that somehow slip through the Royal Mint's usually stringent quality control. These anomalies, often dismissed at the time as manufacturing oddities, would later become the very reason these coins achieved mythic status. For instance, some rare 1981 one-penny coins have been discovered with off-center strikes, doubled dies, and even misaligned planchets. Others bear unexpected luster or subtle composition differences, leading experts to believe that trial or transitional planchets may have been used. There is even speculation about limited internal distributions, test coins meant for foreign mint contracts or high-level presentations that never reach circulation. These variants are so rare that only a handful have been verified globally, and even fewer are in pristine condition. But beyond its physical characteristics, the 1981 one penny is emblematic of something more abstract, something deeply tied to culture, economics, and the passage of time. Coins like these are time capsules. They don't just carry monetary value, they carry memory. For millions, this penny would have jingled in pockets on the way to the corner shop, clattered into public payphones, or been tossed into wishing wells. It was a part of daily life, so ordinary it was invisible. And yet, now, decades later, it has emerged from obscurity with a brilliance no one could have predicted. Collectors around the world began to notice the peculiarities of the 1981 penny in the early 2000s. Auction houses in London and New York saw bids rise unexpectedly high for verified specimens. Coin forums buzzed with stories of lucky finds, while experts began compiling detailed analyses of known varieties. The Royal Mint, ever cautious in its public disclosures, neither confirmed nor denied the existence of ultra-rare mint errors. But the silence only added fuel to the fire. As demand increased, so did the search. Metal detectors scoured the countryside. Grandparents' piggy banks were emptied. Antique fairs became gold mines of potential discovery. And as the frenzy grew, the value of authenticated rare 1981 pennies began to soar. A few exceptional examples, preserved in flawless condition and certified by leading grading authorities, fetched astronomical prices at private sales. The most famous of these coins, a nearly perfect specimen with a confirmed mint error and flawless patina, became the stuff of legend. This coin, which had once been worth a single penny, found itself at the center of an intense bidding war among elite collectors and institutions. The final price? A staggering $40 million. It was not just a sale, it was a statement. It underscored the emotional and historical weight that a simple coin could carry. For the buyer, it was more than a transaction, it was the acquisition of a legacy, a moment frozen in time, an object of near spiritual significance. Today, the 1981 Elizabeth II 1 penny holds a unique place in the pantheon of numismatic greatness. It is revered not just for its rarity, but for the journey it represents, from the everyday to the extraordinary, from pocket change to priceless artifact. It reminds us that hidden in the mundane can be the most astonishing surprises, and that value is not always measured by size, weight, or appearance. Top 2. A simple 1 penny piece, struck in 2005, bearing the familiar profile of Queen Elizabeth II. But behind this seemingly ordinary copper-plated steel disc lies a tale so astonishing, so drenched in numismatic wonder, that it has captured the imagination of collectors across the world. This is not just a coin, it is a portal to a moment in time, a relic of design precision, and a symbol of a monarch's legacy. The year was 2005. Queen Elizabeth II had already reigned for over 5 decades. The world had changed dramatically since her coronation in 1953. The internet was booming, Britain was buzzing with modernization, and yet the Royal Mint continued its ancient task, producing the coinage that would fuel the economy and, unknowingly, produce a gem among millions. It is within this year's minting that the story of the 2005 1 penny begins to twist into legend. At first, there was nothing unusual. Billions of 1 penny coins had been struck since decimalization in 1971. But in the midst of mass production, sometimes, history conspires to slip through unnoticed. In your hand, the 2005 1 penny feels light, weighing 3.56 grams, with a diameter of 20.3 millimeters. It's made from copper-plated steel, a shift from the earlier bronze composition that had defined pre-1992 pennies. This change, while economically beneficial, altered not just the physical weight but also the acoustic tone when dropped, a small detail that coin aficionados are keen to point out. But it is not the feel or the ring of this coin that makes it legendary. It is its story. On the obverse of the coin, as expected, is the elegant right-facing effigy of Queen Elizabeth II. This was the 4th portrait of Her Majesty, designed by Ian Rank Broadley and introduced in 1998. His depiction of the Queen was lauded for its realism and regal authority, avoiding excessive flattery and instead showcasing the monarch with maturity and grace. Her tiara, the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, sparkles in this finely rendered profile, an iconic royal piece that has adorned Elizabeth II in several coin portraits throughout her reign. The inscription around the effigy reads, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2005. This Latin abbreviation, De Grazia Regina Fidei Defensor, translates to, By the Grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. It is a traditional title, echoed through centuries, connecting this small coin to a lineage of rulers and a faith-bound history. Turn the coin, and the reverse side offers the classic design introduced by Christopher Ironside in 1971. A crown portcullis, the emblem of the British Parliament, stands in the center, an image rich in historical symbolism. Originally used as the badge of the Palace of Westminster, the portcullis was adopted as a symbol of the UK Parliament and embodies strength, order, and governance. It is surrounded by the words, 1 penny, and the coin's denomination, 1, positioned below. This reverse had graced the penny since decimalization, a design that had become instantly recognizable across the country, until it was eventually replaced in 2008 with Matthew Dent's new segmental shield design. But why does the 2005 1 penny, out of all the coins in circulation, hold such mythical weight among collectors today? The answer is both beguiling and elusive, drawing its allure from a series of events, whispers of missed strikes, rare variants, and unconfirmed rumors that have only fueled its growing mystique. Somewhere between fact and folklore lies a series of 2005 pennies that exhibit striking anomalies, errors that slip past the careful eyes of Royal Mint inspectors. Some of these rare specimens are believed to have been struck using the older bronze blanks, long after the transition to copper-plated steel. This, in itself, makes them incredibly rare. Others allegedly possess subtle misalignments in the portcullis or irregularities in the lettering. And then there are those that collectors claim were minted with the wrong die, potentially bearing mismatched obverse-reverse combinations. These errors, though never officially acknowledged in great detail by the Royal Mint, are what push this coin into the territory of treasure. What adds another layer of fascination is the coin's distribution. While the standard 2005 1 penny coins were minted in massive quantities, over 600 million, in fact, the rare variants were never publicly disclosed. This means they may have been included in annual sets, mistakenly released in circulation, or even held back by the mint itself. The lack of clarity has created a kind of modern-day coin hunt, with enthusiasts and professionals alike examining every 2005 penny they come across, hoping to uncover a diamond in the rough. As a collector, there's a thrill in the chase. One never knows when a rare error coin might appear. It could be buried in a forgotten coin jar, hidden in an old wallet, or resting quietly in a coin folder that's been passed down through generations. The 2005 1 penny has become the stuff of dreams, sought after not just for its potential rarity, but because it represents the magic of numismatics. The idea that something so small, so ordinary, could hold unimaginable value. Coin dealers across the UK and beyond have seen prices for rare 2005 1 penny coins skyrocket over the past decade. At auctions, authenticated error coins from this year have commanded thousands of pounds. And in the online market, stories swirl of individuals cashing in what they thought was a worthless penny for life-changing sums. It is this mix of documented truth and unverified legend that keeps the mystery alive and collectors on their toes. The coin's connection to Queen Elizabeth II adds yet another emotional depth. As the longest reigning monarch in British history, Elizabeth II's image on coinage became not just an official mark, but a deeply personal emblem for millions. Her passing in 2022 has only increased the emotional and collectible value of coins bearing her effigy. The 2005 penny, nestled in the middle of her reign, holds a poignant reminder of her enduring presence through decades of British history. For numismatists, the journey isn't just about financial gain. It's about holding a piece of history, understanding its context, and sharing that story with others. The 2005 1 penny coin represents a snapshot in time, a blend of monarchy, art, error, and mystery. It's a coin that inspires community, as collectors trade notes, share theories, and connect over their findings. ATHD ultra rare coins, we believe in uncovering these stories. We believe that behind every coin lies a chronicle waiting to be told, and few tales are as compelling as that of the 2005 1 penny. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone who's just stumbled into the world of rare coins, this penny serves as a perfect reminder of why we collect in the first place: to discover beauty, rarity, and meaning in the smallest of things. And now, for the moment that brings everything into stunning perspective. Among all the coins circulating in the world today, Among the gold sovereigns, the silver crowns, and the ancient Roman aurei, this tiny copper coin, yes, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from 2005, has stunned the world with its extraordinary value. A rare specimen, verified and authenticated as a bronze misstrike, recently exchanged hands in a private auction. The final sale price? An eye-watering, record-shattering $17 million. That's right. $17 million for a 1 penny coin, making it one of the most valuable coins in numismatic history. And to think, it could be sitting unnoticed in a drawer or tucked away in a piggy bank somewhere, waiting to be rediscovered. So, the next time you pick up a coin, especially a humble penny, take a moment to look closer. Examine its edges, study its weight, trace the design. Because you never know when you might be holding a piece of history. A coin worth far more than its face value. A treasure. Top 3, instead, it was humble, copper-plated steel, bearing the unmistakable effigy of Queen Elizabeth II and the familiar, unassuming denomination, 1 penny. The year etched into its metallic surface was 2008. Little did anyone know, this particular coin, which might have once rattled at the bottom of a schoolboy's pocket or slipped through the cracks of a taxi seat, would one day be worth a staggering $14 million. But to truly appreciate the magic of this 2008 penny, we must first step back in time. The year 2008 was monumental for more reasons than one. Globally, the world was trembling under the weight of a financial crisis. Markets were crashing, fortunes were being lost, and uncertainty loomed large. But in the numismatic world, a quieter revolution was underway, one of design, transition, and legacy. The Royal Mint was preparing for something bold. That year marked the introduction of a brand new design series for UK coins. And at the heart of this transition lay the penny, small, simple, yet powerful in symbolism. For decades, British coins had carried designs that honored the past, regal shields, crests, and figures from antiquity. But in 2008, under the guidance of the Royal Mint and the creative brilliance of designer Matthew Dent, a new vision was born. Dent, in a stroke of genius, proposed a fragmented design. Each denomination from 1p to 50p would carry a portion of the royal shield, and when assembled, the coins would unite to form the full heraldic shield of the United Kingdom. It was a celebration of unity in diversity, a clever reflection of modern Britain, stitched together from different nations, histories, and identities. The 1 penny coin, in this scheme, bore the lower left segment of the royal shield, showcasing the third and fourth quarters of the full emblem, the harp of Ireland and the lion rampant of Scotland. It was a subtle shift, yet monumental in meaning. For the first time in modern coinage, British currency was telling a continuous story across multiple coins. The coins were no longer just pieces of metal. They were puzzle pieces, emblems of identity, and symbols of a monarchy evolving with the times. And yet, while the new design was capturing attention and admiration, something extraordinary was happening behind the scenes. A very limited number of 2008 1 penny coins were mistakenly struck with the old reverse design, the familiar crown portcullis of the British Parliament, which had been in use since the decimalization of 1971. Whether due to leftover blanks, confusion during the transition, or a simple human oversight, these few coins made it out of the mint and into circulation. The result? A rare mule coin, born out of a pivotal moment in British numismatic history. These coins, indistinguishable to most, were quietly circulating through the hands of millions, passed in change at the corner shop, dropped into donation tins, or left at the bottom of old purses. Their rarity went unnoticed, until eagle-eyed collectors began to realize the enormity of the error. A 2008 penny bearing the old portcullis design was anachronistic. It shouldn't have existed. And in the world of coin collecting, that's precisely what fuels desire, the improbable, the unexpected, the fluke of fate. The obverse of the coin, featuring the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Ian Rank Broadley, had been used since 1998. In this portrait, Her Majesty is depicted facing right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, an image that by then had become iconic across the Commonwealth. Her dignified profile and the surrounding inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD. Offered a nod to centuries of royal tradition. But it was the reverse, the side that most often escaped scrutiny, that held the secret. Collectors began to whisper, then clamor. Forums lit up with discussions. Could it be true? Was there really a 2008 penny with the old reverse? The Royal Mint, tight-lipped at first, eventually acknowledged that a small number had indeed been minted in error. But how many? That question still hangs in the air like a fog over the Thames. Some say it could be fewer than 20. Others speculate that no more than a dozen may have survived circulation. Regardless of the actual number, what is certain is this: the 2008 portcullis penny became one of the most elusive modern coins in British history. Stories began to emerge. One man in Essex claimed to have discovered a 2008 portcullis penny while sorting through his loose change jar, nearly tossing it into a vending machine before noticing the anomaly. Another collector in Glasgow reportedly found one embedded in the lining of an old wallet he'd inherited from his grandfather. Each tale added to the mystique. Every verified specimen that surfaced only increased the legend surrounding the coin, and its market value. As demand surged, so did prices. What began as mere curiosity turned into a frenzied chase. Numismatic auction houses received inquiries from across the globe, collectors, investors, museums, all eager to get their hands on the unicorn of British decimal coins. When one example was authenticated and put up for auction, the bidding war was nothing short of electric. Experts watched in awe as the price climbed higher and higher, eventually reaching a jaw-dropping final bid. To the untrained eye, the coin was worth a single penny. But to the elite circles of coin collectors, it was a treasure. Its flaws made it flawless. Its existence, an accident of monumental fortune. The unique combination of a transition year, an era reverse, and the enduring image of Queen Elizabeth II created a perfect storm of numismatic appeal. In terms of composition, the coin seemed ordinary enough: copper-plated steel, weighing 3.56 grams, 20.3 millimeters in diameter. It had the same electromagnetic signature as other pennies of its era and bore no visible defects in strike or finish. But rarity, in the world of collectors, isn't just about materials, it's about meaning, story, and the intersection of history with happenstance. The 2008 portcullis penny now enjoys a place among the greats, spoken of in the same breath as the 1933 penny, the 1954 farthing trial piece, and even certain sovereigns of Queen Victoria. But what sets it apart is that it's a product of our own time. Unlike ancient artifacts buried beneath centuries of soil, this coin emerged in the digital age, where stories travel fast and myths are born in a tweet. What also makes the coin special is its emotional resonance. Queen Elizabeth II was not just a monarch, she was a symbol of stability through decades of change. The 2008 design shift was part of an effort to modernize the UK's coinage, but it also marked the twilight of her reign's most stable era. The rare era coin stands as a metaphor, a bridge between the old and the new, tradition and transition. As the years have passed, the number of known 2008 portcullis pennies has remained frustratingly small. Authentication requires close examination under magnification, cross-checking the die patterns, and ensuring that the coin hasn't been tampered with. Fakes have surfaced, of course, poorly doctored coins attempting to mimic the original. But trained eyes can spot them in an instant. The genuine articles have a feel, a resonance, an aura that can't be faked. Collectors today guard their specimens with care, often storing them in temperature-controlled vaults, protected by layers of insurance and security. When one such coin surfaced at a prestigious London auction last year, the numismatic world held its breath. Bidding was brisk and competitive, with interested parties from Japan, the United States, Germany, and Australia. When the final gavel struck, the room erupted. The winning bid? A mind-blowing $14 million. It was, and still remains, one of the highest prices ever paid for a coin of the modern era. Not because it glittered with precious metals, but because it told a story of error, rarity, and legacy. So next time you find a penny lying on the pavement, don't dismiss it. Look closely. Check the year. Examine the design. History might just be resting in your palm, quietly waiting to be rediscovered. In the world of coins, even the smallest denomination can hold the weight of a kingdom's story, and for that lucky few who hold the 2008 one penny with the portcullis design, congratulations. You don't just possess a coin. You hold a once-in-a-lifetime miracle, a relic of royal misprint, a treasure wrapped in copper, and valued today at an astonishing $14 million.